Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I caught whatever little illness my son and my wife had this weekend, so kind of laying low. I'm probably not going to do so much trading today, but figured I'd just throw up the charts real quick, do a quick analysis, kind of teach you guys a little bit about how I look at the charts because, above all else, I am a trader, and I think most of you know that. If you're new to following me, you may misinterpret some of my charts. So please understand that if I post a 1 hour chart or a 30-minute chart, that it's very likely to play out over, the next few hours. Whereas if I post a weekly or a daily chart, then that would be something I'm expecting to take, days or weeks to play out. And if I say I'm shorting something on a 30-minute chart, I could be shorting a $300 move and then expecting price to continue to go up another $1,000 after. So I just really want to make sure you guys understand context of these ideas. Luckily, I'm in Litecoin and Bitcoin mainly from, much lower levels, like way lower. So I just have switched, like down here. So I've just switched to a trader mindset now because I think that Bitcoin is definitely going to go to 100K at some point, and I think it can even happen this year. So I've switched to forgetting about those hodl bags, and I just am now a trader mindset. So I don't care if it goes up or down in the short term because in the long term you can see it continues to go up. But anyway, so it's a little context here. And so first off, I always zoom out to start, and it's a new week. It's a Monday. So the weekly closed yesterday, and I'll try not to be so monotone as well. I'll try to be a little more exciting, you guys, to get you guys all pepped up for the week and trading, while also not waking up my son who's in the room next to me sleeping. So really, I do see a little bit of a rising wedge here, you guys. Okay, and then we have a high volume breakdown, which is not a good thing. Also, it's a little concerning sometimes when you have an immediate move up. On this chart, we really don't have a lower wick. So the weekly opened up, which can get a lot of people to FOMO in on the weekly early, and then we can go down and create an upper wick on a retest. Not only that, I would actually have been mega bullish if we wicked down at all and then wicked back up. If we would have wicked down to 44K and started wicking back up already, that would have been mega bullish in my opinion. I'm not, going to be overly bearish or anything. We're in a bull market, but we do have to be mindful of this rising wedge breakdown on high volume and know that if we can't reclaim this resistance here, so I'm going to start at this lower wick here. Okay, so I'm going to say we're at a resistance level here, and I'm going to go pretty much to the top of this candle. If we're unable to reclaim this, this is now a resistance area, okay, on the chart. And if we can't reclaim this, we are very likely to drop down at least to the 22 EMA. We actually closed below the 11 EMA for the first time in a long time. All right, that's not a great thing. Now, if we close this week above, it would just be a fake out and a bear trap, and we would likely moon from there. And that's when I can build more long-term exposure again and hold for weeks. And thanks to everyone for joining me. I can see all your comments, and I appreciate you guys all being on. Welcome, Hamid. Thanks for following me recently. And we'll go down to low time frame soon. So basically, I'm at this point, we're kind of in no man's land. I could either consider taking a short here with good R to R, or I can just kind of sit on my hands, which is what I'm going to do for now. And I'm going to make a plan, and I'm going to say if we're able to reclaim this, we'll probably go up to 60K, and I would assume we'd reject a little bit. And then I could see us retesting somewhere around here, like 58K, 57.5 or something, and then continuing up. So if we do end up getting a nice strong weekly candle and closing up here, I'll look to buy a pullback, and I'll have a good R to R then at that point because I can put my stop loss probably below 55K and try to ride this out. Otherwise, I could look for a short up here, put a stop loss above that 58K area, and try to ride it down to 44K, and potentially as low as like 39K-ish is about as low as I'd see us going. And I would expect it to be a pretty big wick right here. So this is as low as I have us going. If we do go that low, retesting the 22 EMA. And that is the first time we've retested that. That would be the first time we've retested it all bull market once here. And you can see that strong bounce we had there. So as long as we hold that, I'm still bullish, and I think that would propel us higher. Okay, so I start on the weekly, then I can go down to the daily and see how the daily looks. All right, and you can see the daily is actually right at resistance right now. So I really, for me personally as a trader, I really don't want to take a long at the daily. Okay, not only that, but I actually have a trend breakdown here short term. All right, so we've got this nice rising pattern, and I kind of like it better up here actually. So we had this nice rising pattern and we broke down, and then that's why we're in this local downtrend. And now if I zoom way out, I think we're going to be right at retesting this. Actually, I haven't looked at this yet. And you can see here that right about here, yeah, I want to get this involved here. I want to get all three of these points involved. So you can see actually, I really like this placement now because I've got 1, 2, 3 touches, and then I've got this wick here, which tapped it, and then I've got this breakdown here. So we have a breakdown and a retest here. All right. So for me personally, I would actually have a much better shorting opportunity here, something like this, and I'll go show you a little bit better on low time frames, down to my 99 SMA off of rejection, and I could put my stop loss about here, and I've got a 4-to-1 R to R about. Someone asked if you can put a stop loss on a spot purchase. Yes, you can. Unless you're using Coinbase Consumer, then you cannot. You would have to switch over to Coinbase Pro. But yes, you can use stop losses. I always recommend a stop loss, you guys. I can't recommend it enough. If you get stopped out and the play is still validated, then you can get back in. But if it dumps on you overnight by 50%, you're going to be hurting in the morning. Oh, yeah, I think somebody mentioned options expiry, too. I do believe we have options expiring soon as well, this Friday or something. But anyway, you guys, just from an unbiased view right now, I mean, this is where I would have a good short opportunity per my rules. And I like the weekly open push for that as well, because usually when a candle opens, you get a wick. So a lot of times you'll get a move in the opposite direction and then go back up, kind of like we had here. But anyway, so let's go look at, I like the 4-hour chart right now because we're right at mid-range. All right, and this is why I kind of post on Twitter that I really don't want to force a trade mid-range. But basically you can see here, so I'm going to take my support here for my EMAs and my SMA support, and you can see we're right at this mid-range here and rejecting, okay? So we're rejecting there, so again, I would have a much better short opportunity, because if we reject this, we're probably going to go back to this level where that huge breakout was, and then if that doesn't hold, we'll probably go back to 51,500-ish. If we can flip and close above this, then we'd have a good long opportunity up to 56K almost. All right, but you can see if I long here at resistance, okay, my stop loss has to be all the way down here because we're at a resistance. My next support level is either here or here. So if I long here, I have a terrible R to R right now. I have actually basically a 1-to-1, which isn't great. So at 3%, almost 4% risk and almost 4% reward. I don't like that. All right, so this is why sometimes I take risky plays, and I would say I would short here because I can put my stop loss here, okay, above this high, and then now I have a 0.87 risk and a 4% reward, and I can lose 2 of these trades and win 2 of them and be a nice profit, or even lose 3 of them, win 1 of them and be at break even. Okay, so that's how that worked. That's how that works for me, you guys. And somebody said, what's a good percentage stop loss? 10%. The stop loss percentage doesn't necessarily matter, you guys. It's position sizing. So if, let's say I'm going to use a $10,000 position, or let's say I want to risk 1% of my account, and let's say 1% of my account is $1,000, okay? So if my stop loss is here, I can do a full-size position and risk 1% of my account, right? So I could technically go all in on my account with that 1% if I wanted to risk 1% of my account, right? If my stop loss is up here, all right, I can only use 1/4 of my account, all right? So now I'm going to risk 1% of my account, but it's going to be a 1/4 size position. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. But anyway, so as far as Bitcoin goes, this is why I would short there. I have a much better R to R. And then if I go down to the 1 hour for a little bit more confirmation, we actually have multiple rejections. All right, now some people are saying this is a flag, which it could be. All right, so it could be a bullish pennant, but for me personally, I like my bullish pennants, and I posted this on Twitter. I like my bullish pennants to come straight up, reject, consolidate, and break out. All right, like this, nice and clean. When it comes like this one did, where it's higher like that, okay, to me this is a rejection. It's usually a little bit higher, but anyway, to me this is a rejection, a dip, a stop hunt to get these people out, and then a drop. So that's how I view that. It doesn't always work out, but you could see here, if I did short up here with that good R to R, I'd already be starting to be in profit. We're already starting to drop. So that's how I would have done that. And again, another thing is this is just a really slow crawl right here, right? And volume starting to drop, tail off, and we're starting to see increases seller volume. And we also have a rejection candle here. And a lot of people miss these small details, but this is a trend reversal candle on high volume. All right, so you can call it a shooting star, doji, or a tombstone candle or gravestone candle, whatever you want to call it. But that's what we have there, and it's on high volume, and that's a reversal candle. Now, the only way to invalidate that is to go up here and close above it, and if we flip that, then we would have flipped the midline, and then I could have taken a good R to R long opportunity, which I didn't show you guys with this parallel channel. And sorry if I'm, like I said, sorry if I'm talking a little boring right now. I'm pretty sure I just woke up my son, so my wife's probably not happy with me. But here we go. So this would be my long position. If we closed above here, I would look for an entry, a tight stop loss, and a good reward. So that's how I would roll that. So for now, again, we're rejecting midline. I could very well see us pull it back to 52,200-ish to 51,500-ish. Makes sense. Thanks for everyone for hopping on here. I've got so many comments. I appreciate it. How to get into premium channel. All right, this video is not meant to be a plug, but if you are interested in checking out Elevate Trading, where I do a lot more live streams, you can check it out here. You can get access to Top Gun X, etc., etc. Anyway, so back to this weekly real quick, you guys, because we did have something similar on Doge. All right, so we had that rising wedge I showed you earlier, and those of you who are new, we kind of have a rising wedge breakdown here. All right, and then if you know how to measure your rising wedges for the target, because they have a target, right? So you're going to take the top to the bottom here, all right, and you're going to take that to the breakdown point, and your target's going to be around that breakdown. And I'm probably going to go up here a little bit higher. I can't do it because it's a weekly, but it's going to match up right about here around 44K, which matches up with our EMAs, so we have some good confluence there as well. All right, now we'll go over to Doge real quick, and I'll show you the 4H, where we had something similar. We had a rising wedge up here, high volume breakdown, and continuation down lower, right? And even here, you see with that slow dipping, and then we pop back up initially, and then rejected and continued down lower. Now for Doge, for you guys that love Doge, it's kind of in a choppy range, and I basically said that short the top, long the bottom, and wait for the breakout here to do anything else. So if I wanted to long, I would wait for a breakout. If I want to short, I'd wait for a breakout or breakdown. Breakout will go straight to 37. Breakdown will go to 13 to 14 likely, or at least sweep down these lows. So yeah, I mean, that's really kind of what I'm looking at right now, you guys. Like I said, I've got that rejection. We're still at resistance right now, right here, okay? And I like to draw zones, but we're at a little resistance zone here on low time frames. So I think it's very reasonable to expect a pullback, but if we don't get it, then I could flip long here. So even on that account, if I were to short here, all right, let's say I shorted here and I get stopped out for 0.9% or 0.8%, okay, that's fine, because what I would do is I could consider flipping long up here and putting a tight stop loss, and I would expect my long to then work out, and I can make back that 0.8% loss here on that long. So good risk to reward, you guys, over and over will pay off in the long run. So always manage your risk Don't let your positions go too far negative, more negative than you should. If you don't have a plan before getting into a trade, like if you just hopped in along here on Bitcoin because it kept going up and you don't know what to do, then you probably should just cut it and reassess and figure out where to go next. Okay. But you should always have a plan going into a trade. Somebody told me this morning that I told them to buy U-Trust at 60 cents or something, which I definitely did not. But obviously, I'm in UTK from down here. So up here, I expected continuation. All right, I really did. And obviously, Bitcoin didn't think that was a good idea. But, we got this nice bull pennant breakout followed by another bull pennant breakout. And I said, look, I think we're going to continue higher. We didn't. I was wrong. And it ended up actually being a very high volume rejection here rather than a high volume breakout. So that was the subtle clue that I missed. You guys that have been here the whole time on these streams, you know that I talked about subtle clues. The subtle clue I missed was, look at that. That's no breakout volume. It's actually like a FOMO volume at the top that gets rejected and sold off. So I missed that point. But if I was entering up here, I would have had a stop loss right below this invalidation. So if I bought here on this breakout, my stop loss would have been 10%. So for this guy to tell me that he was down 40%, I'm like, damn, you really bought like the legit top, didn't you, guy? But why would you buy up here without a stop loss? Okay? So manage your risk, you guys, and don't blame other people for your mistakes. Because I obviously never said to buy up here. And if I would have said to buy up here, I would have shown a really lovely, nice risk to reward here and probably targeted like 90 cents. Okay? But again, you get stopped out up here on that trade. Well, guess what? You've got another really good R2R trade down here on this support tab. And you can go, once we hold this candle here, you could definitely get in here, look for this, and get a nice R2R as well here and make back that 11%. Okay? So risk to reward, that's all there is to it, you guys. But yeah, does anyone have any questions or anything while we're on here? I don't mind answering some questions. I do have some big plans coming for Elevate Trading this year, though. I really want to make it more into an education hub and have a lot more education available, some courses and things. There's a lot of ideas in the works right now, so stay tuned for that. There's just so much going on. It's so busy. Somebody said they're stupid for not knowing about stop losses. Well, not really, because I didn't know about stop losses when I first started. I didn't know that you could go into USDT and Tether when I first got on Binance back in 2017. So, but one reason a lot of people don't use stop losses is because they get wicked out over and over and over, and price keeps going up. So when that happens, just decrease your stop loss or decrease your position size, and then you can widen that stop loss a little bit and still get the same loss if it goes wrong, but then you're not getting stopped out by keeping your stop loss too tight. Can I play La Cucaracha with my guitar? No, actually I can't. I'll have to learn that one for you though, Kenny. Do I make majority off my profits off futures or options? No, I make nice steady compounding gains on leverage, and I don't usually hold very long. But my biggest wins are usually spot trading on altcoins when things are hot. You can go heavy on spot alts with 5 to 10% risk and get pretty good 40 to 80% moves when things are hot, and that's what I usually go for. Is there one-to-one scalping mentorship on Elevate Trading? So I do one-on-one scalp, or I do one-on-one lessons with anybody. I just haven't made it very public yet. But Elevate Trading members do get discounted fixed rate on my one-on-one sessions. So try to take care of the Elevate Trading members a little bit extra. And I'm trying to get some partnership deals to get discounts for Elevate Trading members as well. So that's kind of on my agenda for the next few weeks, to get, like full-time discounts on Trezors and things like that for Elevate members. Does Elevate Trading accept crypto? Yes, Elevate Trading does accept crypto. If it's not on the website yet, go to message Crypto Warrior 01 on Twitter, and he can get you set up on crypto payments, okay? But it might be on the website. I can't remember. Our developer was working on it. My opinion on XRP, I really don't like charting XRP. It just either goes up or down. It's a really choppy chart. A lot of newbies get cut up buying up high on that. So if you're new and you really want to buy XRP, just buy it when it dips little by little and hope it goes up. Otherwise, I can't trade XRP. All right, I can only buy it on spot and hold it. But I haven't done that in a while, since like 20 cents is before it went to 75 cents, and then I cut with all that SAC stuff at like 50. But what about the Wyckoff pattern for Bitcoin? Do you still expect it to go lower? So we do. So we can talk about that quick. I do have some extra time here. Load chart layout. I don't know why this says Doge chart. I think this is the one. Let's see. And it is. So here's the distribution, you guys. It's played out so far pretty well. Maybe this is our LPSY. I don't know. I need to look more in depth to see if we've, broken this. We won't have broken this structure unless we break back above, I would say 57-ish K, 58K area. So that coincides with my other chart as well. So if we get back above 58K, this is probably invalid. But for now, it's pretty low volume anyway. Look, I don't like making bearish ideas. It's not fun for me, but the weekly open pumping makes me a little nervous and hesitant, and I need to see more upside before I could really justify getting back into longs up here above 58K, and I'll feel a lot happier about it. Also, I think we do have a downtrend rejection here as well, so you could see that. But on the low time frames, you guys, I did post a double bottom, so at least for the 1H, and I'm pretty sure it played out. So here's your double bottom, all right? And the second touch is usually lower volume. And let me clear out all this stuff. So if you guys don't know how double bottom works, this is one of my favorite patterns, all right? Because it's got a clear target and it's pretty easy to spot. So what happens here is you get a big high volume drop, you get a retest, okay? And then the important thing here is that this close, the candle over on the right, closed above this. You see that? So we got two closes above that. And this is just a major stop hunt, because if you get in down here, where are you going to put your stop loss if you're a newbie? You're going to put it right here. You get stopped out there, and then you look back at the charts and it's mooning, and you buy back up top, right? So this is a really clean double bottom. High volume first touch, low volume second touch. If this candle would have closed below here, I would not have considered it a double bottom. It still can be, but I wouldn't have the confirmation. Whereas if I was watching this and I actually did get a long down here, but I closed like up here, this is a very good position to get into and hold here. And then your confirmation of double bottom is going to be this. It's going to be a breakout above here, and then your target is going to be from here to here, and you're going to put it up here, and you can see we got very close to the target. So potentially we could drop a little bit here, go up here, get everyone bullish, and then drop and keep going lower. Or, we could just keep going up from here. I don't ever expect to be right. So I just kind of play the charts day by day and level by level. And just, I try to long at support and short at resistance. Yesterday, I told people not to short at support. There's no reason to short at the support unless it closes down below. Short all the way down, and then tighten your stop losses, take some profit, etc. Do I show positions I have taken on Elevate Trading? Yeah, I post these all the time with these little things. Like if I was in a short, I would post something like this and say this is where I'm entering. That's what we did on Sol yesterday. I appreciate it, Issy. Yeah, he said smash the like button for free content. Yeah, you guys, the like button helps a lot. I think it helps get my videos out more. What time do I usually start trading? Usually 8 a.m. Central Time to like noon is when I really do a lot of trading, because there's good volume. And then after that, I'm either just managing my stop losses and holding out my positions, or usually I just sit out and then maybe get like one more entry in the late afternoon or something. Why decrease position when increasing stop loss? If you're not sure, that if you are short from up here and it hits here and you want it to go lower and you're unsure if it's going to or not, you can take some profit at support in case it bounces. Then at least you're taking some profit from that trade and not watching it go back and either stop you out at a loss or, break even. Just bought 5K Bitcoin at 53,400. Well done. You're in profit now. Now you just want to see a close above this area up here, above the midline, and you'll be golden. So far, it's holding decent. I mean, it could go up or down right now, and I know people hate when other people say that online, but it could go up or down right now. But just watching for this OBV, and be careful here because it's rejecting multiple times. And so if it doesn't, this hour is going to tell us what's going to happen. So you've got 30 minutes left for this to either break down and will probably drop, or for it to close up here and then it'll probably go up higher. All right, so that's kind of what you're watching for here. I just always get concerned on these slow crawls because imagine if you shorted here somewhere and you still held and then it moons up and then you close or get stopped out. And then now you flip long when it keeps going up, and then it drops on everyone. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just watching for now. But if this 1H closes red, then it's probably going to drop. Hold on, let me get a drink of water real quick. I apologize, guys. Okay, sorry. My throat's getting a little dry here. But yeah, I mean, these were the setups, you guys, over the weekend that I posted. So we had a short here, and then we had a breakdown here of trend. Okay. Breakdown here of trend 1, 2, 3 touches, technically a 4th touch over here, and we had a rejection, and we dropped. All right, and then you even had this consolidation here, which broke down. And then again, we had another rejection here. Okay, and it was better on a different time frame. I think I can't remember what time frame I posted it on, but I had posted a rejection like this, and basically, I think it was on a 4H. But anyway, so we had this rejection here, and we continued down lower as well. Then you see over here we had a break to the upside, right? So this is where I would have gone long, and we could have continued up. Now, I wasn't on the charts at that time, but I love that as a long opportunity. I love this as a short opportunity, and I'll keep flip-flopping all day because I like making money. Too many wicks on the 1H time frame. So the EMAs I use are called Gunnar EMA. It's the 22 is the red, and the 11 is the green. And then the SMA I use is the 99 SMA. I'm just trying to read through some comments here, you guys. I feel like I'm giving you boring content now. So let's see. I'll probably get off soon, but feel free to ask some more questions real quick while we're on. Again, daily is right at resistance for now, if you're just joining us. So I can't personally long resistance. I need to wait for it to flip above. And if it does, then I would expect, a little bit higher to 55,500-ish. Until then, I would be considering a short here. But I don't really feel like trading this morning. So I'm just sitting out. Sol, if you guys missed on that trade yesterday, that was a really good opportunity that we caught for a quick dip on Twitter. And my trigger was that I posted this in Elevate was this rejection here, okay? So we have this very high volume rejection. All right, highest volume here. And it ended up being a bearish engulfing candle. Pretty good opportunity for a short. So we shorted that, closed at about 42. That was a good profit. Nice big drop. And with how bullish Sol has been, I closed. Good thing I did, because you could see it would have stopped me out. And now it's just consolidating, and it's looking kind of bullish here just with this consolidation. But I would need it to break up a little bit higher to be able to take a long. And I don't like this time frame. Let's go to like the 4H. What I don't like about this, let's see how our OBV looks. Actually, it looks decent right now. So, but what I don't like is that we've kind of got this slow little weird consolidation with a heavy breakdown here. And we need to get back above here to be. If we break back above this high here, like 47.50, we'll flip and we'll go really high, above $50 easily. But if not, this could end up being a breakdown, a retest, and then it goes back down a little bit lower. But there's no confirmation of that either. I like to use Binance when I use OBV, you guys, on balance volume, because the higher the volume, the better. and Binance has the best volume for compared to most exchanges. So that's why I use that. But you can see Bitcoin's literally just going sideways right now and still rejecting. That OBV still breaking down. Let's see how our 30-minute looks. Okay. 30-minute OBV is looking pretty bearish here. All right. It's breaking down pretty heavy. So if we don't start to see some upside here soon, we're going to break down this uptrend here, which we might be breaking down on it. We're right at it. So this next 30-minute candle is going to tell us if we break up here, we're probably going to head up. If we stay below here, we're going to break down and likely go to 51,500 like I'd mentioned. So, but yeah, let me look at the comments, see if you guys have any other questions, and if not, I'll probably just get out. Okay. I don't know where my chart went. There we go. Sorry for that. Where did my chat go? Hold on. Okay, I can see the chat again. Bybit OBV is pretty good. Interesting. Yeah, there's some apes on Bybit. With Bitcoin, it was a wave forward. We have another leg down, in my opinion. Oh, so yeah, so Cobra Trading is saying that this is basically a wave 4. Whoops, wrong button. So he's saying this is a wave 4, and then you're going to get your wave 5 down, which coincides with my analysis a little bit as well. So I could definitely see that happening. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for joining, Calvin. My son's not at daycare day. Usually is. So when he is at daycare, I can be a little bit more into the chat on here. But I'm just trying to be a little bit quiet. So I apologize if it's a little monotone and a little boring today. But we'll work on that for next time. Don't want to wake up the little man. But really, you guys, I'm not too interested in looking at a ton of charts right now. I think the most of the market's going to follow Bitcoin right now. And if Bitcoin pulls back, most things are going to pull back. If Bitcoin goes up, most things are going to go up. So I wouldn't focus too much on everything else right now, and I'd be focusing on Bitcoin. And if I was looking for a trade right now, I would be attempting a short here with a tight stop to about 51,500-ish would be my target. And then I would step out from there and see what happens. Or if I got stopped out on that, I would consider a long up to 55,500-ish. Where am I scalping Doge? I use Bing Bong for Doge. I don't know why I called it Doge right now. Doge. That's where I scalped that at. You guys that are just joining me on Doge, let's pull up the Doge chart. Actually, I don't think this is Doge. We'll see. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Here's Doge. I posted this a few days ago. It's still just ranging. So don't get chopped up in here. Either short up high, long down low, or wait for a breakout to long or short. That's my plan on this. How much time did it take for me to become consistently profitable? I don't know. a while, I guess. It just depends. I just traded less when I was starting out, and I did a lot of paper trading or like smaller trade entries, just kind of testing it out and building a strategy. So just keep building strategies, you guys. That's the easiest way to do it. Find a pattern that works for you really well, or 2 or 3 confirmations on different indicators with price action that work really well, and just understand that you should be longing at support and shorting at resistance. Generally speaking, okay? That's going to do you better off most times than if you're trying to do the opposite, because people trade with their emotions, and when you can stop trading with your emotions, you're going to realize that your results are going to be a lot better. And the ways to stop trading with emotions is going to be reduce your position sizes, figure out a stop loss, trusting your own analysis, all right, not babysitting charts. If you enter a trade and expect it to go straight in your direction, you're going to be wrong a lot as well. So expect there to maybe be a dip after you enter, and that's okay. All right, as long as you have good risk management, you're not taking huge losses when it goes against you, then you're going to be okay. Is there ever a time when the market moves separate from Bitcoin? Yes, Lucas, there is definitely a time where the market moves separate from Bitcoin. That is when Bitcoin is going sideways. So here is when the market moves separate from Bitcoin. Here's where it moves separate, but when it's going overall like this, the market is not moving separate. All right, so we'll zoom out here, get rid of all this crap. So during this whole time here, the market pretty much did whatever it wanted. Some alts were popping, yada, yada, yada. Okay. From here to here, market was moving with Bitcoin. From here to here, the market dumped with Bitcoin. All right. So you need to catch when Bitcoin's going sideways. And that's going to be more when indicators are going sideways. All right. So like here, you can see my indicators going relatively sideways. Bitcoin went relatively sideways. Right now, my indicators are trending hard, so Bitcoin's trending hard, and that's usually times where I look solely at Bitcoin to figure out what Bitcoin's going to do. Now, if I think Bitcoin is going to go up, I could consider looking for longs on some alts with spot, because if I longed Bitcoin here, let's see. So if I longed, let me go to the 1 hour chart because we had that trade that I showed you guys, that setup, okay? So we had the long setup on Bitcoin here. All right, on this retest, and Bitcoin went up 5% from there. All right, not bad. If I would have just long Bitcoin here with spot, that would have been a 5% profit. All right, with, let's see, my risk would have been a little bit lower than on an alt, so like 1% risk. If I go to CRV, I actually had a similar setup yesterday where I could have longed, okay? So we break out, retest, so I could have longed here at like 250-ish, and I would have caught about a 10% move. You see that? Sorry, I clicked on that too fast. So that would have actually been a 10% move. So on an altcoin, I can, if I think Bitcoin's going to go up, sometimes I'll actually get into an altcoin with a good setup because I think that it will gain me a little bit more on a spot position. So I could have doubled my gain there, and my risk would have only been about 2%. So it would have doubled my risk by 1%, but doubled my reward as well. And 2% risk is totally fine with me on a spot position. And for OBV, I do not use any custom settings. But if you're on a different chart than me, so I'm on Binance Tetherus or Bitcoin Tetherus on Binance. If you're on a different chart than me, it's going to look different for you. Okay. And you can see here, we're still holding. So I really wouldn't short unless we have this breakdown on this 1 hour close. All right. Right now, it's still just chop. I don't even know if we have a 15-minute breakdown yet. We do. So on a 15, I could consider a short here as a breakdown. Top Goon X has some bearish divergence. My OBV is starting to break down, but holding. So we're getting close to potentially having a short opportunity here, but no real confirmation. So like I said, I would rather have this 1 hour breakdown to really get that short opportunity in. But anyway, you guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys learned something from this and can understand kind of where I'm coming from better on the charts. Feel free to rewatch this. But otherwise, yeah, we're seeing kind of rejection here on the 15. So normally this is where I look for like my best R to R trades. So if I was shorting this on the 15, I wish it was under the EMAs. If it was under the EMAs, I'd feel better about it. But basically, I would say 0.2% risk for a drop to 52,374 and potentially 51,500. So basically getting 0.2 risk for 0.4 reward, which is really, really good. And that's how I catch some of these really tight entries. All right. Got high volume breakdown here. I've got a retest. I would like it to be below the EMAs, which it's trying to reject. So this is where I would consider a short if I were trading today. Really nice tight risk. If I get stopped out, it's not the end of the world. But, you know, a nice reward here on the target. And if we flip up above that, then it becomes a good risk to reward long opportunity. If we break up here, then we'll likely see a little bit higher today in the short term. Something like that. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys. We had a lot of viewers. We had almost 1,000 viewers in like the last hour I was on. So that's really awesome. I appreciate you guys all. Feel free to ask questions on Twitter anytime you like. I try to answer as many as I can. And I really, really appreciate all your support. And I will catch you guys later. I'll keep posting updates as I see things change. see things change.